Hello and welcome to today's video. Today, a very quick video. Is the Lamy 2000 worth it? What I want to do is I want to very quickly cover the parts and features of the Lamy 2000. It's been a while since I reviewed this pen, so I just want to recover that. And then I want to talk, is it worth it? And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to talk about the pros and the cons, simple things and then things that I personally find. So the Lamy 2000 is made of Macrolon. It's matte black. It's actually a matte black polycarbonate body with brushed stainless steel accents and a rhodium-plated 14-karat gold hooded nib. And by hooded, it means that it's sort of not completely exposed like a traditional fountain pen nib. If I get the Pilot Custom 823 here, you can see that's a traditional style nib, as opposed to the hooded nib of the Lamy 2000. It is a piston filler pen. It activates with a knob on the back here, which has a little line just there. So when you unscrew that, it activates a piston in the pen. This has currently got ink in it, so I won't do that. But it's Lamy's flagship pen. It is great, and as I said, it's one of my favorite pens, and a pen that I really wanted to feature in this month, which is May 2023, as I am talking about Lamy this month. The pen traditionally comes with extra fine, medium, and broad nibs, although you can get some oblique nibs and double broads and things like that. Just have to look around a little bit, and different retailers will offer different things. The price point of the Lamy 2000 is US $223 as I googled it today, so you can get them at lower price points, but if you want the full warranties and all of those kinds of things, best to go to a retailer that is official with a pen like this, because this is an investment in a pen that you want to be able to maintain and look after over time. The dimensions of the Lamy 2000 are 140 millimeters when it is capped. It's 125 when it's uncapped, 154 when it is posted, and I love how this pen posts. It's just how I write with it. I think it's absolutely perfect. The section ranges is about 8 millimeters here, which is a bit narrow, but you can hold it kind of anywhere. And the pen weighs 25 grams, 15 in the body, 10 in the cap, so it doesn't feel back weighted. And also because it posts relatively deeply, that's where the weight actually sits on your hand. So it's good. It's got an ink capacity of 1.35 mil, which is more than a converter. Not a particularly high ink capacity for a piston filler, but enough. Let's now do a writing sample with the Lamy 2000, and this is a 14-karat gold medium nib, and as you can see, it is beautifully wet. The ink I have in this is Lamy Crystal Obsidian, which I recently reviewed on this channel, so check out that. But it's a beautiful writing pen. It almost sings on the page, particularly on these coated papers. And with an ink that's wet like this and on nice paper, it is just a beautiful, thick, gorgeous, generous writing pen. And the reason why this pen is, for me, is almost always inked up. I just find it to be one of those pens that works with almost any ink, and also, can kind of handle most ink and most paper pretty well. It's also rugged and sort of, it's got a nice, and also it's just kind of cool. It's got a nice cool factor. So yeah, a pen I really enjoy. So let's talk about these pros and cons and why I personally think the Lamy 2000 is worth the money. Now, I'm going to start with the cons. There has been a price jump on these pens. They keep getting more and more. So that's understandable in terms of with the cost of living and the cost of parts and all that kind of thing. It's just unfortunate because it's now putting it into a much higher price point than when so for instance, when I bought this from an Australian retailer, official retailer, about 4 years ago, it was either 369 or 399, and it is now 549. The ears on that section, some people don't like that, so it's got these two little lugs on the side of the body, and that is where how the pen caps on a ring on the inside of the cap. And so you can hear that little click. That's what that is. Some people don't like that. I don't mind that. You do feel them, but I don't mind the feeling of that there. The other thing that people find is that this grip can be slippery because it is brushed steel and it is tapered all the way down. That's also why I hold it slightly further back. I hold it just between the ears there and the edge of this brushed section. That for me is a nice distance away from the page. It makes it feel like a number 6 length nib. And when the pen is capped, of course, posted, it fits nicely in the hand and sits at a decent point at that point. It's also a nice width at that point and not quite as slippery there. So what are some basic pros? Well, firstly, the nib is beautiful. It writes well, it's consistent, it's wet, it's generous, all that kind of stuff. I love the finish and the material, this sort of brushed polycarbonate or Macrolon material. Macrolon is like the brand name of a particular version of this material. And because it is brushed, it makes the pen seamless and lovely. I really enjoy that, and just the the weight and the feel of the material in the hand is kind of nice. I love the consistency of the pen. Every Lamy 2000 I have tried, and I've tried extra fine, medium, and broad. They write beautifully, and although there is a slight sweet spot, the wider the nib gets, so the medium and the broad particularly, if you hold the pen consistently and evenly on the page, you get a beautiful writing experience. Otherwise it just gets a tiny little bit stubby and sort of turns off that axis. That's basically all you're getting. I think there's a lot of cool factor with this pen, and I love the size, I love the weight and the balance of this pen. This pen capped or posted, sorry, once again, in your hand, writing with it, it's effortless. It just writes so beautifully. So is this pen worth the price? Well, look, there's some nice things. It personalizes to you a little bit in terms of like the material. Where you hold it, it's smooth. It becomes less sort of rugged. It ages really nicely. As I said, it writes really well. There's no tuning or adjusting needed. It's got great ink flow, and it's a great pen in terms of form and function. So the fact that it writes so well and all of that, but also the size of it, the weight of it, the balance of it, means you're getting a pen that is an easy everyday writer. It's a consistent everyday writer, and it's reliable, which I think is such a beautiful thing in a fountain pen, because we all have pens in our collection that we love that just don't hit the mark, and this one does and will. If you are after a pen that isn't a traditional fountain pen, and I once again bring up the Pilot Custom 823 here, which is one of those pens that I consider to be just about as close to the perfect fountain pen as there is on the planet. It's got a nice it's got great form and function. It writes beautifully, but it is a very, very traditional fountain pen, black cigar shaped pen and all of that kind of stuff. So this is not that. This has a that Bauhaus sort of design about it, that 1960 something design that is just very, very cool. So I really think that design is elegant and simple and refined, and it just makes for a beautiful pen in the hand. The only big downside is the effect of inflation on it and the price jumps, which puts it into a higher price point. So to me, this pen is worth it. You're getting a great writing instrument that has good personality, that is nice to write with and does everything you expect it to. It's consistent and reliable, and if you look after it, it will look after you. People have had their Lamy 2000s for decades and write with them every day. So, and with that slightly larger ink capacity than a standard cartridge converter pen, you're getting something that's going to write for days and days and days, and you can rely on that. And that ink window there is a great, it's just enough to be able to give you an understanding of how much ink is left in the pen, so you should never end up running out if you can keep an eye on that. So I think it's worth it. I would love to know what you think. Do you think the Lamy 2000 is worth the price? Please leave that in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Get in touch if you'd like to support the channel. Your support means the world to me and makes this channel possible. In the meantime, enjoy your pens, whatever they are, and I'll talk to you soon.